Support our school by subscribing to the channel and check out our website for new classes starting soon. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Columbus School of Chinese here in Columbus, Ohio, and our show Ask a Chinese Teacher. Today, my job is to talk about how to express location for where an action is going to take place. If you remember way back in my word order video, I talked about this previously. I said that there's a very fixed spot for your location phrase to go in the sentence, that is, after the subject and before the verb. So subject, location phrase, verb, and if there's an object, you would put it after that. Today I'm going to give you a new way to do location, a separate way to do location that only works with a certain small subset of verbs. And this is going to be through a location complement. This is a new kind of verbal complement. We've talked about verb complements a few different times now. There are different categories of verbal complement, but they all go in the same spot. They go tacked onto the back of a verb, and they do different things depending on what kind of verbal complement there are. There are potential verb complements, which talk about the potentiality for an action to happen. There are directional verb complements, which talk about the direction the action is going in. Today, we're going to talk about location complements, which talks about the location upon which or at which an action is going to take place. And just like any other verb complement, their spot in the sentence is tacked on right on the back of a verb. All that grammatical discussion aside, let's talk about some examples. All right, 我住在哥伦布. I reside at Columbus. All right, 住 is our verb, to reside or to live at. 在哥伦布 is the location complement right on the back of that verb. Another example, she sits next to me. 她坐在我旁边. 她坐在我旁边. 坐 is the verb to sit. 在我旁边 is that location complement tacked on the back of 坐. She sits next to me. All right, let's do one more example with a 把字句, with a 把 sentence. 把车停在那儿. 把车停在那儿. Take your car and park it over there. So 停, to park or to stop, is our verb. Tacked onto the back of that verb, we have a location complement. 在那儿, over there. Park your car over there. 把车停在那儿. So that's how location complements work. The big thing to take away from this is this works with only a small subset of verbs that all have something intrinsically to do with location with that verb. Now that's just a general guideline that can cause some head scratching itself, but really this is an irregular set of verbs that can take a location complement, whereas with most verbs the standard situation is you cannot tack a location complement onto the back of them. It's just grammatically invalid. You have to do it in that standard spot before the verb. So this is something that takes a feel you need to gain over time with more and more exposure. Let me give you an example of some standard verbs that just cannot take location complement. You have to put it in the front. For example, the verb 学习, to study. If I wanted to talk about where I'm doing studying, that has to come in its standard location phrase spot before the verb. So 我在图书馆学习. 我在图书馆学习. I, at the library, study. You'll notice that this at the library, this location phrase, is before the verb. 学习 cannot take a location complement tacked onto the back of it. Another one, I work at CSC. 我在 CSC 工作. 我在 CSC 工作. I, at CSC, work. This is the standard spot because 工作 as a verb cannot take a location complement. You have to do the standard spot before 工作. So the simple answer to the question, when do I put the location after the verb, when do I put the location before the verb, depends on the verb. If it's a member of that special subset of verbs that can take a location complement, you can put it on the back. Otherwise, you put it on the front.